I offer my protection by not saying when, not saying who, and not saying specifically how. I can give you just a little insight. I know, now that I've talked to the right people, what our, as we were promised, military backing is waiting on. I also know that for approximately 8 months, give or take, the financial realm, and I mean all of it, globally, has been going sideways. It is in extraordinary upheaval. The reason for that is that the alliance, which is known as the Eastern Alliance, comprising some 130 or so states, have formed their own financial system in direct opposition to what we're dealing with. The formulation of that was critical for two reasons. One, it took those people's money out of the bankers' pockets who live here and in Europe. The second part is that it also depleted the power base of what we are up against, so to speak. Now, there's a third part to this, and we are collectively, as a bunch of individual groups without a leader and all this other happy stuff, a part of a great puzzle. That puzzle was to declare sovereignty. This has been completed. And if you want to look at dates and understand the importance of what our actions accomplished, the same day that the, quote, package of paperwork left our shores, resignations started in Europe in mass. And by massive, I mean there was 200-300 the first day that they found out. They tried to intercept, and they couldn't catch it, and it got away. And they went, oh, my. The reason they went, oh, my, was the declaration of sovereignty made in such a fashion that we are not any longer playing their game. Take this job and shove it. I quit. I ain't working here no more. Exactly. Now, it is extraordinarily and extremely hard for me not to spill the beans. You people have no idea when you got privileged information how difficult it is not to say something. My tongue may not survive. It's already sore, and I'm keep biting it.
Great.
Basically, what you can look forward to is a combination of things coming to pass in the next, I'd say 30 days, 45 days, give or take. That's going to change the basis of everything that you're dealing with. And it cannot be stopped. And that is as far as, in terms of good news, as I can go, except that I have had contact with the principals involved.
Awesome. Thank you.
Drake?
Yes?
My best understanding is the word term sovereignty means the ability for one to decide for oneself. Does it have more connotations for that?
Yes, it does. In effect, it depends primarily, sovereignty, or the decision for oneself, depends on one thing and one thing only. And it's written in the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's written in the law as common law. If you do not injure a person or destroy property, you've committed no crime. Those two bases are the basis of what we're coming to in the near future. The difference, as you can see, you run up against this wall of the other guy did it. Well, the council did it. Well, they're not real. So how can you sue a council? Or how can you do this? Or how can you do that? Every time an individual that is targeted at any level and taken out, there's another one equally of the same sort of ilk, the same cloth, steps right into place, and everything continues on just like nothing happened. You'll find this in 99% of all of the governmental dealings. And this is not just here. This is worldwide. That is the reach of the financial system. This is the reason people fear what the IRS can do. They can come in and take everything you got. Well, really? These people that have been doing this are getting ready to cease and desist the hard way. And I'm telling you that this is coming in very short order. Things are happening internationally as well as locally that are beginning to change things. Our shows are waking people up to the fact that, yes, you can organize your county, and it's a good idea. You get to know your neighbors. That's also a great idea. You can plant gardens and be, to an extent, self-sufficient. That's also a great idea. You pack in a little extra food or whatever, that's cool too. Because if everybody in your little neighborhood has an extra can of something, and somebody's doing without, everybody contributes a can, and you don't even miss it. And that other person, can eat. And you do this until that person's garden comes in. If they don't got a garden, go help them plant one. Teach them how.
Or help your neighbor raise chickens.
Assist each other in terms of the freedom of will to make that decision. And that's what freedom... I'm done.
All right. Go ahead real quick. I would like to go into break and then start taking questions.
Okay. Drake,
yes.
I'm hoping that this, every time you say these things, I get more encouraged. Thank you. Right now, we're fighting the smart meter, and we've got people who've been made ill by it. And we've got a Public Utilities Commission who is ignoring all the letters we're sending, saying it's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous. Please do not, they haven't approved it yet. They're in the trial period, and people are already getting sick. So if I would translate what you're saying, it would mean if these people persist while we send them all this documentation proving this is unsafe, that we can hold these people responsible, and there will be no more passing the hat and nonsense that they've been doing forever.
Exactly, and what you got to do is you have to take all the medical bills of the people that are sick and sue these people for reparations because they intentionally made you sick. By putting that friggin' meter on there, and I've got documentation that proves the meter did it.
Yes. Good.
Exactly.
Okay. Now,
good idea.
Any trial program with any kind of legality or litigation going on stops. Okay? You can also force them at the same time in terms of part of the reparation to put the old meter back on the house.
Right. File for a TRO immediately while it's all being settled. Temporary restraining order from using that smart meter on these people's homes.
Well, that's
it's simple. Once you understand how to go about things, most things are possible. So everybody needs to bear that in mind. And
exactly.
You're going to love what's coming, believe me. I've already gotten all the details.
Oh, thank God.
Right.
I'm getting excited.
Smart meters are a topic all of their own. We can do a whole show on those without any problem whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Don't we have a break to take and some callers to take?
We are going to go ahead and begin taking callers. We're going to start with Dan. Dan is in the 702 area code. Dan, your mic is open. Dan, did you have a comment or a question?
Hi, this is Dan. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Hey, great show, and I'm glad I heard about this through the Internet. I can't remember what website. But I am curious about the mention of 30 to 45 days from now that something big might happen not only in the United States but worldwide. I am curious because in my research there's about 3 to 6 million people in the United States alone that have invested in foreign currencies like the Vietnamese dong and the Iraqi dinar, and I just want to know if that's kind of the same timeline for that too to revalue.
Anybody want to field that one?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, go ahead.
The Some of the people I've talked to recently are financial experts and deal in what you're talking about. Basically, what you want to do is sit tight and don't worry about it. So long as you're not a mega corporation or you are in some way dirty, and that can mean a whole bunch of different things, where you get your money from drugs or, take a pick as to what kind of dark stuff you can put on it. And you are an average person. My understanding of the overall plan, and they're rewriting it as we speak, for a global valuation. And that's a little different than revaluation of individual currency, but similar. My understanding is that basically you're going to have currency that is primarily equivalent. You'll have a dollar here, a dinar there, basic inequivalency.
Does that have to do with the Basel III?
Yes, it does.
Well, God bless you guys, and I'll continue praying for you. Thanks.
Thank
You're
you,
very
Dan. Our next caller we have is Jack, and Jack is in the 815 area code. Jack, your line is open.
Hello. Thank you to all of you for what you do. I have several quick questions or comments. I'll keep them brief. First, they're really all for Drake. Drake, from your understanding, will the initial removal include city and city and county politicians and agency employees from agencies like the Department of Natural Resources, the EPA, and the FDA?
Primarily, yes.
And then will there be subsequent sweeps, do you believe?
The sweep's going to be pretty total. Those who are extraordinarily dirty are definitely going to be taken into custody, and it doesn't matter what level they're at. What matters is that the individual communities, be that county-sized or local small-town government, needs to start looking at people who could fill the positions that are presently held if that person might be removed. And in this fashion, in this manner, you can better prepare for the possibility because the dirt is hidden very well.
Okay.
So, next question.
Next question would be, I've been doing my best to spread the word about these mass arrests that are forthcoming. It's really, I think, vital to have credibility. And from a credibility standpoint, I'm just curious why you haven't given your full name, because it seems that you are protected, and some additional detailed bio information on yourself. I know you're a Vietnam veteran and had some ties with the Pentagon, but is there a reason that you haven't given more information about yourself?
Yes. Number one, I don't want people to fill up my mailbox. That's why it's hard to get a hold of me. Number two, I don't need a crowd on my front porch first thing in the morning. I don't need to have the paparazzi playing proctologist. Now, past that, any information that I give has to be measured. The reason it's measured is to protect people from the problem we've already had. The people involved in this already have a tally of 14 dead, to give you an example. This is one of the reasons that I don't give the information. The other reason is that you have tactical maneuvering and a whole lot of very intricate problems to deal with. And if I was to mention something, that could be derailed or delayed. I want this to go as smooth as possible so you don't have any bumps in the road, and I want the thing to go as according to the plan I've elucidated to. Beyond that, and beyond the information you've already got, that's about as far as I can go.
Okay, fair enough.
I would say eventually everybody will know who everybody is, because there won't be a reason to have to protect others.
Okay. Last quick comment. I was a bit surprised by your comment about you feeling that some of the criminals might need to be executed, and I was even more surprised that David Wilcock agreed with you to some extent, especially with some of his works and his belief in the law of one. You don't create peace through war, and